Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm doing a fun video. I think it's fun for me anyways. I'm going to be doing a whole video on my food prep day. Usually I do this on Tuesdays. Today I'm doing it on Monday so I can because I made plans for Tuesdays to have a play date with some of my sisters and cousins. So we're doing this Monday and I'm just going to be prepping a bunch of stuff that will help make the weeks easier. Make my life easier throughout the week, making sure we all have snacks and that there's some easy to grab things out of the freezer. And yeah, I'll take you guys along with me and let's get baking. First thing I started getting ready was some waffles. I don't want to buy Eggos anymore, so I decided I would start making some waffles to keep in the freezer so we have easy, ready to go breakfast or even doing pancakes. But we're starting off with doing waffles because I got a new waffle maker and I'm doing this for the first time ever making waffles, and they turned out really good and they reheat really well as well. I'm only doing one dinner prep, and that is going to be frozen pizzas. I love to have these on hand. I started doing it recently and it's just the best, especially for the weekends when I don't want to cook. So today I decided to prep 6 pizzas to put in the freezer. I'm doing 3 that are deluxe and 3 that are like cheese or pepperoni for my kids. That way we all have something we like to easily cook. Then I'm making a sourdough loaf. I do this every week. I make at least 1 loaf of sourdough bread and my family just loves it. It's so good for grilled cheese and sandwiches and just everything. Sourdough is just so good. And of course, I'm doing all 3 of these things at once, which is just a little bit overwhelming. But check out how cute these waffles are. It's Elmo and Cookie Monster. I found this at the thrift store and I love it. The kids love it. Back on to the pizza dough. Now that the yeast has sat for a few minutes, I'm adding in the rest of the ingredients, and then I'm gonna get it ready to throw that onto the mixer. Once I have one pizza mixing, I went back to feed my sourdough and put it in a clean jar. I do this almost every time I make sourdough, just because cleaning the jar gets really hard when it all gets dried on. So I'm just feeding it, and no, I don't measure it out or anything. I just do it like I eyeball it, and it's always worked out pretty well for me. Sourdough's really not that complicated. And in between, of course, I'm having to refill things that I'm running out of, and I love getting a huge bag of flour from Costco because it'll last me about a month. Getting full of flour, and just realized I could be wearing an apron, so I'm going to put this pretty little thing on. I actually love it. It is so pretty, and such a wonderful story behind it. So a woman came to my store selling aprons, saying she was selling them to be able to pay her rent, and they were $50. I just so happened to have a leftover $50 from my mom giving me gas money to drive my cousins to Toronto, and I was saving it. I was like, maybe I can do something for myself with this, and I've been praying the week before that God would show me how I could give more, and that I would be more open to giving and stop being so selfish. And then this lady comes to my door, is like, these are $50, I'm trying to pay my rent, would you like one? And I'm like, you know what? I have $50. I will absolutely buy one. So, yeah, God works in mysterious ways. And so, yeah. Kind of looks like I'm wearing a skirt now. So cute. Alright, let's go back to baking. And of course I'm cleaning up in between whenever I have time, and just making sure my workspace doesn't get too gross, because I am making a lot of different things and I want everything to not be mixed together. I need to keep my surfaces clean, so every time I'm done something I have a chance. Right now my dough's all rising, so I got to clean all that up. And then I went on to preparing the toppings. So I just grabbed these cans from Costco in a bulk box for like $20 or something, and I only ended up needing about 2 cans of this, but the rest I am saving for spaghetti sauce, which you'll see later on. And so I'm just going to throw this in a pot, let it simmer on low heat with some spices, and then we'll have our very own pizza sauce here going. So what I'm putting in is salt, garlic powder, onion powder, and Italian seasoning. And of course, in the interest of saving money, I'm shredding all of my own cheese. I got these big blocks from Costco. They're about $15 a block, but they go a long way. And so this was enough cheese for all 6. And then I'm also cutting up my veggies for on top of our pizzas, and I'm also just sauteing those a bit so they're a little bit cooked. And of course I'm doing another quick tidy up after doing the toppings, and then I'm doing a quick set of stretch-in folds on my sourdough loaf. I'm getting ready for getting the pizza doughs all rolled out, and I found these cardboard rounds that are meant for cakes, but it's all I could find on last minute at Walmart. So I grabbed those, and I'm just gonna be putting the pizzas out to freeze on those, and I'm just trying to make sure the pizzas are as much the same size as possible, so I am measuring out every ball. After having the pizza rolled out and doing the crust, I'm now adding on toppings. So I'm just doing sauce and cheese for this one, but like I said, I am doing a few different flavors. And as soon as the toppings are on, it goes straight into the freezer just like that, so I can flash freeze it, and I don't want the dough getting soggy. I don't bake them beforehand. I know some people do, but I don't, and it's worked really well for me this way. Now on to the treats. I am making brownies. I got this recipe from my sister and she was right when she said it was awesome. I do the same thing as she does, except I don't put in chocolate chips because they're just as good without. I love doing my brownies in muffin tins and in these liners because that way they're all already single serve. I don't have to cut it up or anything, and it works perfectly. Moving on to chocolate chip cookies. These are my family's favorite right now. They're obsessed. The recipe is literally the one that comes on the Hershey's chocolate chip bag. And I guess I've just mastered it perfectly, like to the perfect cook time where they're really nice and soft. And yeah, they're just so good. So these are a staple. And of course, I tried to let my kids get in here and help, but it got overwhelming real fast, not gonna lie. But I do try to include them when I can. And since this was the last thing I was doing, I was like, why not? You can help make your favorite cookies. Once the brownies are in the oven, I put my cookie dough in to cool for a while, and we took a little break to go to the park. But when I'm back, I'm getting those cookies and rolling them out and putting them onto trays. Now you don't have to cool them for a while. I just did because we needed to get out of the house for a bit. And it just worked out well that way, and apparently they're actually softer this way, so definitely try it. And then once I have 2 trays filled, I go ahead and take the rest of the dough and I roll it into balls and I flash freeze it and then put it into bags, and then I have more cookie dough to make fresh cookies whenever these ones run out. Once I'm done with the cookies, I went to check to see if some of the pizzas were frozen, which they were, so I started peeling them off the cardboard and then wrapping it with some cling wrap, and then they just go in the freezer like this, and then they're ready to go in the oven whenever you need them. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it gave you some ideas. Maybe you want to start meal prepping. It doesn't have to be too hard. You don't have to do everything at once like I did. And you can definitely spread it throughout the week. But I do like to have one day to just focus on that. And it only takes me like 2 to 3 hours, depending on like what I'm making and how many breaks I take in between. So I hope this gave you some inspiration. It definitely helps my family save money. We're buying way less packaged snacks and foods as well, and less takeout with our frozen pizzas. So really happy with how this is going, and I'm hoping I can get even better and just continue adding on things and learning more things to cook from scratch. Be sure to like and subscribe to follow along on this learning journey as I learn more things from scratch. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.